The last thing you want to hear when you need your auto insurance most is a robot with countless irrelevant menu options. Which is why with USAA Auto Insurance, you'll get great service that is easy and reliable, all at the touch of a button. Get a quote today. Restrictions apply.
USAA. This episode is brought to you by Indeed. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed's sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
Giles, you're not going to believe this.
It's clear. It's what's going to happen. It's happening now.
Angel?
Can't be. You've got to be wrong.
I've checked it against all my other volumes. It's very real.
Well, there's got to be some way around it.
Listen, some prophecies are a bit dodgy. They're mutable. Buffy herself has thwarted them time and time again. But this is the Codex. There is nothing in it that does not come to pass.
And you're reading it wrong.
I wish to God I were. But it's very plain. Tomorrow night, Buffy will face the Master, and she will die.
Hello, and welcome back to Buffering the Vampire Slayer once more with spoilers, a podcast where we are watching and discussing each and every episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer one at a time for the second time, this time with spoilers. I helped you cast that demon out of the internet. I think that merits some trust. I'm Jenny Owen Youngs.
And I would say that the end is pretty seriously nigh. I'm Kristin Russo, and today we are discussing Season 1, Episode 12, Prophecy Girl, a fucking instant classic.
So true. Prophecy Girl was written and directed by Joss Whedon, originally aired on June 2nd, 1997, and hey, our spoiler-free coverage of this episode originally aired on December 7th, 2016.
Just 10 days before I turned 36 years old.
And she's been aging backwards ever since.
Yes, I'm only 30 now. I actually don't. How many years has it been since 2016? 4 plus 9 years? Jesus fucking Christ. Gotta go. This is the one, according to IMDb, where Giles discovers an ancient book foretelling Buffy's death at the hands of the Master. He didn't discover it. Angel gave it to him.
And hey, speaking of, dusty old prophecies you might find in a book and other informational texts, let me tell you that into every generation, a spoiler warning is born. We alone wield the strength and skill to discuss things from any of the following sources. All 7 seasons of Buffy the Vampire Slayer and the canonical Dark Horse comics and Angel the TV series and any related canonical comics over there and anything that currently exists inside of the Buffyverse and anything that may be announced or released as we go.
You should stay tuned at the end of this episode because we are sharing the songs that we wrote in the original run. We've got 160 original songs, one per episode, and a whole bunch for Once More with Feeling. And at the end of the episode, we play the song. And then after the song, if you want to stay around, we talk about the writing of that song. And this song in particular, this episode in particular, is a very, very, very big one in the Buffyverse, of course, but also in the Buffering verse. And to that end, Jenny, I wanted to kick us off as usual with big thoughts, but we're going to share something up at the top here with you, which is a clip from our audiobook, which, hey, it released today. Today, this very day that this episode airs, April 8th, 2025.
Wow.
Is it 2025? It's 2025 still, right? Yeah.
Today is the day And this is the most important takeaway. Today is the day that Jenny Owen Youngs became a published author.
Wow. Welcome.
You were already a published author, so it's less exciting for you, except I assume it's at least as exciting. It's probably more exciting for you to be now a co-author with me, your best friend,
my best friend
for the first time.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say it's less exciting for me because I am but a good friend. So at least we were both angling for the same kind of hook in our joke. But before we do this audiobook thing, which I will tell you, I've heard this clip from the audiobook, I think like 4 or 5 times at this point, and I have yet to hear it without crying, not to like set you up for high expectations. But I think that as a Big Thoughts theme, we should talk about where we were back when this aired. And
oh my gosh, things were so different.
I mean, well, you're joking because we were, of course, on the other side of the 2016 presidential election. And specifically, this episode and the way that it like dovetails with how we were all feeling was very powerful. And we are in 2025 back in that place, but somehow so much worse, like so there's that, and we can talk about that, and I'm sure we will as we continue forward. But also, Jenny, our lives, the chasm of where we were, right? We were married, living in Altadena. This was the 12th episode of a podcast we had ever recorded. And we had yet to do the show at Union Hall, which we're going to talk about in the audiobook clip. We were reaching around to figure out what it was that we were making. And now you're looking at me from Maine, where you live with your wife, Jess, and I'm looking at you from my studio in upstate New York, where I live with my wife, Avanti. You have a 2-year-old. I have a 6.5-week-old. It's just wild and powerful. It feels really emotional. And I think like watching this episode will always contain some of that, like our journey. You know how I love to use the word journey.
I know you love journeying. I've never had a feeling in my life, but if I did, now might be the time.
What would that feeling be? Just out of curiosity.
It's really hard for me to speculate on something with which I have absolutely zero experience, but probably something.
I want to say, and I'm sure, I don't think we've said this in the podcast yet about the book. I know I will be sharing this story many, many times as we talk about the writing of the book. But as you know, I am very open about my feelings and my emotions, and Jenny plays it close to the chest. You might be able to glean that she has some feelings by the fact that she writes songs that will make you cry all the time. However, when we wrote the book, it was very hard, Jenny, to get you to put your feelings, the feelings of Jennifer Youngs on paper with the scratching of a nib. I don't know when the fuck you said that, but it is not ever going to leave my mind. And the first time, and I'm so sorry if I already shared this in a pod, but the first time that I like really pushed Jenny and I was like, listen, they have to somehow see in this book that you were in love with me at some point in time, because the sort of like arc of the story won't really hit if it doesn't feel like you ever were once in love with me. And she like very seriously took some time and sat and worked in the Google Doc and was like, okay, I think I've got it. And I scrolled up to the Google Doc and she had written, Kristin has a personal warmth and a skill with words. And I fucking died. I will never forget it as long as I live. I was like, is this my college recommendation letter? What
I think it's your tombstone, actually.
So anyway, I will say that you conquered the challenge and you managed to get past. You managed to do better than personal warmth. And you'd think skill with words would be the more offending thing, but personal warmth is like, I don't even know. It's like you Googled like how to talk about someone you like. Anyway, Jenny, before we jump into this clip, do you want to set it up a little bit for folks and let them know where we're coming into the book?
Okay, so It's December 2016. Our episode for Prophecy Girl has just come out. Days later, we are playing a live show at Union Hall, playing all the songs from season 1. The nation and our communities are reeling from the recent election and trying to reckon with that reality. And the vibes are weird, but also we are finding joy in togetherness with Scoobs.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's listen. In the final fight between Buffy and the Master, he wins. He holds Buffy's head underwater until she loses consciousness and stops breathing. She dies. It is Xander, a teenage boy with no supernatural abilities, and Angel, a vampire with a soul trying to make amends for the sins of his past, who find Buffy's body. Angel has vampire strength but no breath. Vampires, you see, do not breathe. While Xander does not possess magical powers, he does have air in his lungs. Angel and Xander work together to bring Buffy back to life, while above them, the rest of the Scoobies fight off the monsters being released from the Hellmouth. Buffy, now revived and doubly pissed, finds the Master up on the roof of the high school, and on her second attempt, she kills him.
In New York, the room fell silent as everyone took their places on stage for the final song. Most of the folks in the audience knew what we were about to play, and it felt like the room held its collective breath as the opening piano chords sounded. I began singing the first words, and a handful of people in the audience sang along. With every passing lyric, it seemed that more voices were joining in. To our surprise, by the time we reached the chorus, the entire room was singing with us.
If I just keep fighting, just keep fighting, maybe I'll believe it too.
Jenny finished singing the second verse, and the audience sang the second chorus even louder.
If I just keep fighting, just keep fighting, I think that I'll believe it too.
When we sat down to write the song, we'd made the decision to anchor our message to that final line of the chorus. We felt that was the place where we could try to shine a small light for ourselves as well as for our listeners. While in the first iteration, Buffy sings, "Maybe I'll believe it too," by the second chorus, she is singing, "I think that I'll believe it too." In early December, we had been writing the song from inside those first two choruses, uncertain that we could ever really make it any further. We hoped that by writing it, speaking it, singing it, and repeating it, we could somehow will ourselves into a place of strength.
Union Hall was a sold-out show, so folks were shoulder to shoulder with each other, all singing, some crying. 1 month after the election, 3 weeks before the inauguration, together, we all sang the final chorus.
If I just keep fighting, just keep fighting, know that I'll believe it too.
This was the moment that made us, us.
What began as two people talking into microphones about our beloved vampire show was changing, morphing, expanding into a community. We were somewhat accidentally becoming a hub, a meeting place, a little beacon to which an increasing number of listeners were finding their way. People who wanted to revel in the collective love of their favorite story and also find strength in one another. Though our experiences were varied, our fear during that time was something that we all shared. We didn't know what to do or how to do it, but singing together in that room, we felt, all of us, a sense of purpose and a certainty that we were not alone.
Once they enter the battle, Buffy and the Scoobies can't control whether they win or lose. They can only choose how to fight. Together. What a tome! Well, that sounded like the work of at least one incredibly skilled with words, kind of a warmth, personal professional.
This is like, I will say, I'm more of a I read the book on paper person, you know, like we run a book club here at Buffering the Vampire Slayer that I head up, and a lot of folks will listen to the audiobooks, and sometimes I'll listen to the audiobook version of a book especially if I'm like going to be in the car a lot and what have you. But I tend to prefer reading it off the page. This book, our book, is an instance where I will say it is a very different experience to listen than it is to read. It actually makes sense to do both if you were interested in doing that, because the music, first of all, as you just heard, the way that it sort of is threaded in throughout the book, there are songs between every chapter, and you get those songs played instead of reading the lyrics off the page. And Jenny has done some original recordings for this. It's not just the recordings of the songs. There are moments like this one where it's recorded specially for the book. I also will say that in the book, there are sections from Jenny's perspective and from mine, and then there are sections from both of our perspectives. So those are written kind of like in a third person voice. But in the reading, since we are, of course, the ones who are reading it, those sections are changed because we are reading it and we are able to split those sections up. So it really is very different overall. And it's a really beautiful thing. We had an amazing time recording it in New York with our team at Macmillan. And they were just the best, the very best.
Yeah, we had so much fun. There's still a little bit of regret in my heart that, so there are 3 types of sections. There's Kristin says, Jenny says, and then both of us say, right? Mm-hmm. And I wish it would have been a huge waste of everyone's time, but I wish there was a version of the audiobook where the both of us sections were us reading in unison.
Or just like
next book,
reading a few words and then like trying to improv it, like the next
or
person
just one
says.
word back and forth.
Yeah, one word back and forth. All right, so
that's the book. It's out today, physically and audioally,
physically and emotionally. Yes, and bufferingcast.com/book will get you to the page where you can find it in all the formats that you possibly could want or need. It's a very big day for us, Jenny. It's a very big day for us. And hey, tonight, if you want to fucking celebrate with us tonight, very night, you can. Bufferingcast.com/live. We are going to be doing a virtual event for anyone who wants to join, celebrating the book's release, talking more about the book, hanging out. I'll probably make Jenny play some songs. It's going to be a great time. And you'll get some exclusive footage from our event that just happened at Torrance, where Joanna Robinson is in conversation with us about the book as well. So, yeah, the best.
Patron saint of the pod.
The best one. So come and join us tonight if you want to hear more book stuff. But if you came here to hear us talk about a television show called Buffy the Vampire Slayer, perhaps we should talk about this episode called Prophecy Girl.
Let's do it.
Previously on Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Is it just me, or does this guy sort of sound like a weasel demon?
Do you think he's a chiller, a killer, or a thriller?
He's got a real killer with an edge of thriller in his voice.
For those of you who don't listen to our Watcher's Diaries episodes, we have solemnly decided that the demons in the Buffyverse and outside the Buffyverse are all either one of 3 things: killer, thriller, or chiller. Chiller being like Clem, like he's chill. He's not really harming anyone. Kittens, I know you'll take offense to that, but
killer being like
and jealous.
Yes. And thriller being like sweet.
Lorne,
totally.
Yeah.
We have yet to come up with anybody as thrilling. I would maybe say that the loan shark.
Oh yeah, baby.
Is a bit of a thriller. And in his own way, Gnarl and perhaps the gentleman
are thrillers.
Are all thrillers.
Yeah, the gentlemen kind of take from two cats. They're like killers and thrillers.
Yeah, they've got a leg on each side of the line.
Mm-hmm. Do you remember that game that we used to play that was like horse, muffin, and bird?
Bold of you to assume that I've ever heard of such a thing, let alone played it.
Oh, I thought
horse, muffin, bird.
Yeah, it's basically that all human beings fall into one or a combination of those three categories. I am predominantly muffin.
Why?
You can't. That's it. That's all you get. Is everyone is horse, muffin, or bird, and none of them are bad or good. They are just.
It's weird. I don't know what it means, but I have a clear idea in my head. Just vibes of what I feel I identify as.
Yeah, you have like small portion muffin and definitely some bird, I would say.
What?
Yeah. But
I feel horse.
You feel horse?
I feel horse.
Okay.
Look at my mane.
You got
Consider me glistening in the sun.
Talk amongst
glossy
yourselves.
As hell.
This is if you are like, oh, I just found out about this podcast because your book was just released. This is exactly how it goes. So we're now going to get into the episode, and then we're like, now we're playing horse, muffin, bird.
All right.
Wait, let me tell them what happens on the previously on.
Yeah, please.
We have the master. We have a vampire in love with a slayer. We have the anointed one, and we have a codex. These are the key points going into
Angel can get a book.
DJ Night no cover at the Bronze, Jenny.
Always a joy. Love when there's no cover. Don't love when my crush is practicing asking someone else out on me.
Yeah, this is unfortunate, and it just feels like everyone is being, to use, I think, LaToya's words from her production notes, obtuse about the reality, right? Like, Buffy has been quite obtuse about the fact that Xander's clearly into her. Like, she definitely could have picked up on this and has picked up on this. Xander being really obtuse about the feelings that Willow has for him. He should probably know better.
Kristin, if somebody's kicking it to you, what? Excuse me for saying kicking it to you.
Kicking it to me?
I'm simply 43 years old.
I am so upset.
If someone's hitting on you, what for you personally, what would be a more effective line? There's never been anyone for me except you, even though we just met a couple of months ago.
Yeah, no, I'm running at that one. I'm out the door. I'm gone.
Or I'd like to observe mating rituals with you.
I mean, it's a toss-up, but for me, it's mating. You might have a chance if you stick the landing on mating rituals. If it's funny enough, I might be into it. If you tell me that, like, if you tell me that you're into me, I am out the fucking door, like, gone. You cannot tell me that. You have to look like you never could give a shit about. This is why Jenny wrote personal warmth and skill with words. That's how. If you rewind the tape back to 2009, I was like, I gotta get better than that. I'm gotta get better than that. You gotta give me a challenge. What is it for you, Jenny? I assume mating rituals.
Mating rituals sounds good. Anything that requires a lab coat, I'm down. You know this.
Mm-hmm. I would say, skipping ahead a bit, and we'll talk about it when we get there, but I would say that Xander does a better job in the actual delivery. I want to dance with you. Very sweet. Very sweet.
Okay. He wants to, like, get this over with while he's got the wind in his sails, but Buffy's not at the Bronze. Willow is like, you can practice on me some more, which is just awful.
No.
Willow, good things are in your future. Hang in there.
Yeah.
You've got this.
And then we cut to where Buffy is, and we get this amazing slow-mo sequence of Buffy falling after she's been in fight with a vampire, and she does like a slow-mo backwards roll, and she smiles at this vampire and gives 2 punches and blammo, a stake. It's a beautiful thing. This whole episode is gorgeous, and I'm gonna just go to LaToya's notes about this. This episode, LaToya says, is pretty damn undeniable, isn't it? Frickin' Joss, the man had a vision. Plus, for his directorial debut, as remember, he didn't direct the pilot, I had to note he was in his bag when he does that first overhead shot of the library, which I also wrote in my notes. And this is really important. Like, we all know where we're at with Joss, right? As a human and so on and so forth. But this episode is undeniably perfect. It is beautiful. It is making fun of things in ways that are just brilliant. It is tearing our hearts out in ways that are epic. It is beautiful to look at. The timing is on. This is unbelievable. And he is many, many things, including a very brilliant writer and director. And this vision is clear here in Prophecy Girl.
Also, the efficiency. We could have just met Kevin later.
Yeah.
But the efficiency of having Cordelia and Kevin making out at Lover's Lane. Kevin, a 35-year-old high school student, and Cordelia making out at Lover's Lane while this battle is going on, like where they can hear it. Here's my point of concern, Kristin.
Oh, okay.
We see Buffy get thrown onto her back, and then she pulls a stake out of her waistband in a moment of gotcha.
Oh.
She landed on that stake on her back, and I'm just a little worried about her spine.
Yeah, that is risky, definitely. I'm with you. I feel that way even when you see people put like a gun in the back of their pants, or God forbid the front of their pants. I'm like,
Don't do that.
I don't care if the fucking safety's on. Take that shit away from your bathing suit area, as Jenny would say.
I never mix my guns in my bathing suit area, Kristin. It's a no for me.
Oh, God. Oh, my next note. At the library, this really is a finale, this gorgeous pan over the skylight that we get. And this is like beautiful to look at because we're seeing Giles from above in the skylight. And it's a critical decision directorially because it gives us the ability to have the scene at the end with the Master and Buffy happening while we can also see into the library what's happening below, right? Like it's beautiful, and it also sets something up that works just practically for how the episode will end.
Sunnydale High School spared absolutely no expense on constructing this beautiful skylight in a library, which is only ever used by 3 students and 1 librarian.
Maybe it was just like they had a sense that they were over something that needed, more space at the top to get out. If you're gonna build something over the Hellmouth, try to give it a skylight. I don't think that fucking Principal Wood gets a fucking skylight later in the series, and that's a shame because he deserves one.
He deserved it.
He did.
I also love the choice to have these beautiful windows in Giles' office. Mm-hmm. So he has a contained area, but we can still be shooting directly into it. It just looks great. Yeah. I banged this gong our first time around, Kristin, but if anybody knows what the beautiful landscape painting is hanging over Giles' desk, I'm still looking for it. I still desire it. Imagine that prop. Imagine it's just a prop.
Oh,
and it's somewhere. I would bid on that.
I was going to say, maybe it's on eBay or something,
Does anyone know? Can anyone find this painting? I will be so happy.
Nerf herder?
The day that I become a published author, if I also found out how I could potentially bring that painting into my life or a print of it.
Yeah.
Wow. That would just be...
Write to us. hello@bufferingcast.com. Tell Jenny
Please.
Where she can get her favorite paintings in all the land. So, okay. Giles is reading and translating the codex.
And that was his first mistake.
Yeah, exactly. Don't read a book, sir. The Master will rise and the Slayer, my God.
Kristin.
Yes.
Do you believe for 1 second, given how Angel is about Buffy, that he wouldn't have read this? This stocky drama queen not reading prophecies, aka God's diary, about his crush?
Yeah, no, he definitely... Maybe he just didn't know the language, but that's also bullshit. He would have found a demon who...
He would have found a way.
He would have found a way. I agree. Jenny, on this podcast, we love when cups full of liquids are put close to the edge of something right before an earthquake.
Ruby!
Giles' tea is like shaking and shimmying to the edge of the desk.
Thank goodness he wasn't drinking out of his green mug.
Oh my God, what
That's
a tragedy.
All I can say.
And we see the earthquake in all the places, right? We see the earthquake in the library where it's pretty serious because by the time it's over, there's a crack in the floor and the wall.
Bookshelves have just Tower of Pisa'd over onto one another.
Yeah.
Domino time.
Yeah. And the school, Sunnydale High, of course, will be open and ready tomorrow morning. No repairs needed because it's Sunnydale, Sunnydale High. But we see the earthquake at the Bronze. We see Cordelia in the car. We see everybody basically experiencing this earthquake. Just a California earthquake, or is it more?
You know who's not even remotely bothered?
The master?
That's right.
Please. So normally we put sound clips in just, because they're really important. And I'm not saying this isn't important. I'm just saying I need us all to listen to. And when I say Joss is really nailing like some of the making fun of things, I just feel like he really does a good job of like having the master be this character who both is very seriously a threat to Sunnydale and Buffy and everyone else, but also is so fucking dramatic and it's so funny and it's done intentionally, completely intentionally. And so let us hear this fucking drama queen, Mark Metcalf, giving us the master at his best.
Yes! Shakers! This is a sign. We are in the final days. My time has come. Glory! What do you think? 5.1?
I just can't. And we cut to the credits.
The last time we'll see the season 1 credits.
Oh,
Kristin,
the last
this
time
much
we'll see.
I know.
This is the last time we'll see that font too, right? We get our Buffy, proper Buffy font. No, season 3. Okay. Well, because we get the not as great font for a whole nother season. Don't listen to me. I've never seen this show before.
In some ways, you haven't. Giles looking very walk of shame. He had a long, hard night with his books. He's rumpled as hell.
He is. He somehow has like a 5 o'clock shadow just from one night. Man can grow some hair.
Do we think of Buffy Summers as someone who walks in after an earthquake and says, the damage looks fairly structural?
Yes and no. No, not in a serious way, but yes, and that she's always quipping, and it feels somehow, even though it is an observation, like a quip. Vampires are increasing in number. They're getting cockier. Giles is not listening at all. And Buffy's like, can you fucking care? I like broke a nail. Incredible dialogue, right? Because we're setting up that she is 16. She's like, Giles, you're not caring about my fucking nail. I'm wearing a press-on. You could at least go, she says. But Giles is heartbroken because he was already getting pretty close to dad mode, but this is it. It's
ramping up.
Dad activate episode.
When Giles is standing in the library cage,
yes,
I noticed over his shoulder that there are some Iron Mountain style boxes, and I wanted to ask, is there a proper name for these? Write to us at hello@bufferingcast.com. Maybe file boxes,
legal boxes, or something like that.
These are labeled periodicals 1921 to 1930. Periodicals 1931 to 1940. So given the size of the box, we're like 6 magazines per year. A decade's worth of 6 magazines? ?
And what are the magazines?
I'd love to know.
Why are they in the cage? They must be very valuable.
Are we keeping valuables in the cage? Maybe not yet.
Well, once Oz gets in there, the answer is clearly yes.
Oh my gosh, maybe inside the boxes are actually Morningstar flails,
weapons, stakes,
they're holy
disguised.
Water. And Giles is like, what would people never look inside a box that was labeled? Oh yes, periodicals 1921 to 1930.
The boxes just say really boring books.
Yeah.
All right, so the Sunnydale balcony. There it is again. We were all just there, hanging out for prom up on that very balcony.
It's the computer age, Kristin. Nerds are in.
The classic Willow line. Let's give Willow her jingle. This is a real Willow jingle moment.
Who knows the square root of 1225? Willow, who's gentle of heart and nimble with a hard drive. Willow, 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 Willow.
Oh, God.
Plus, I feel like she needs all the support she can get in this episode.
She does. She has Willow. Xander shoos Willow away, and I write, "Oh God, I cannot watch this." Xander turns it around, okay? But in the beginning, I'm like, "Oh God, I'm so embarrassed. I'm so embarrassed for him. I can't." He tells the guy on the bench to just.
Who among us has not had such a god awful start?
Floundered. I feel like
any of us would be lucky to get as good as it gets in the middle. And then he just ruins it.
Jenny, I just feel like you haven't ever done this. Like, it's just not in your nature to, like, you just wait for the person to, like, say something to you. So I don't feel that you...
Well, yeah, I mean, that is a foolproof strategy.
Right. Like, I have experienced this because I'm always the person that's like, and anyway, joke. But I feel like you just choose the method of be quiet, and if it's meant to be, it'll happen.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have embarrassing things that you've done, please share them.
Not one single time. We get a nod forward, possibly here with Willow's not looking to date you, or if she is, she's playing it pretty close to the chest.
Yeah, and a nod forward later when Cordelia is like, "Men, I don't know how we deal with them," and Willow's like, "Me
yes.
either, men." Okay, so Buffy says, the worst answer in history. "I just don't want to spoil the friendship. Never in the history of human beings has anyone not been interested." I'm so sorry. I'm breaking hearts right now. No one is ever not interested in you because they don't want to ruin the friendship. That's not, Jenny disagrees with me.
Well, okay. I could see it. I could see it being true. I've never experienced it personally. I've never had the self-control.
That's what this is what I'm saying. I'm saying.
But some people I think do, Kristin.
I don't know, man. I don't think they do. I think if you have feelings for someone and you're like, "This is going to ruin our friendship," and they're like, "Fuck, I have feelings for you," you're like,
guess I got to ruin our friendship.
Guess I got to do it. There's no world in which maybe you try for like a day or two. You're not making it past that mark. And
yeah, I mean, I think Xander is pretty much in the right when he says you either feel a thing or you don't.
Exactly.
Narrator, Buffy didn't.
And she says very honestly, "I don't." And this was all good. And now here we come crashing into the Xander of it all. "I'm not him. I guess a guy's got to be undead." And he at least...
It begins.
He at least says, "Sorry, I don't handle rejection well." Now, let's dip into LaToya's notes, because I think this is very correct and also very the Joss of it all. Her first note of the episode, she says, is, "Time to really hate Xander after a season of reevaluating him." She said, "I went on to be reasonable in my evaluation of Xander, I think. I want to dance with you is a good line. And I feel like it's been pretty clear throughout the season," and this is where she's talking about the obtuseness, like Buffy should have known, okay? But she says, "My note regarding Xander's entire line later about country music is, okay, Joss, I can hear Joss in that country music line. I'm sure we've talked about it before, but Xander is definitely at his most Xander, i.e. his most Joss, when Joss directly writes him." And I think that's astute, correct, and something of note, because this is his proxy in many ways. And this turn of he tried for something he feels rejected, and so then he gets really fucking mean is, not an uncommon trait to find in humans, and Xander is a big example of that.
We all, see ourselves in characters or components of this show in different amounts, which is my way of segueing into the fact that I want to say I love the music cue here.
Yeah,
it's bittersweet. It manages to feel at home in a 90s horror score kind of context, or almost like a Miyazaki film, which I had written in my notes Miyazakian, and then I was like, that's composer erasure. I should look up, because I feel like probably the same person scores all the Miyazaki movies. And yes, composer Joe Hisaishi, whose last name I may be mauling, please holler at hello@bufferingcast If you want to correct me. I couldn't find a reliable pronunciation source. But Joe composed the scores for all but one Miyazaki movie, and there's something about the sort of like bittersweet bounce, but like also kind of like on the edge of darkness about this particular music cue that like really pinged both of those kind of channels for me. It's like I want to shout out Walter Murphy, who's scoring season 1, and you know, this will be Christoph Beck will replace him in season 2. So this might just be the last time we talk about Walter Murphy's great contributions to the show. Undeniably, you know, setting a tone in season 1 that modulates as we move forward into seasons 2 and beyond. I think he did a great job on season 1. He definitely left his compositional stamp on the show, and Walter Murphy, will miss you, but excited for what comes next as well.
Wow, Jenny, push those glasses up on your nose. You know what I mean? Saying words
don't mind
like
if I do.
Miyazakian up here in this podcast. I tried so I wanted so badly to get a joke in where I said, so it's like a bittersweet symphony, but then you had so much more to say that it got too far away from your bittersweet.
Don't worry, you found a way.
I always do. Okay, we're in the library.
When did Giles get Angel's phone number? Did he leave it on a receipt inside the book? Is Angel in the phone book? Because guess what? Later, Xander finds his apartment. What's going on? Also, did Xander just look him up in the phone book? Angel, Angel.
Yeah.
Angel, vampire, Angel.
Yeah, Geraldo Angel, I think is how you look up Angel in the phone book.
Got it.
Okay, if you need to find him, if you need to find him either for these purposes or if you are helpless and you need his help, you look him up as Geraldo Angel. Also, dying at this phone call for that reason and for who's paying Angel's phone bills. Is there an AT&T, a Bell for demons? Like, is that what's happening? I need to know. Like, I just want a scene of Angel like sitting with his credit card and like, paying his bills.
Maybe there is a demon service. Okay, a human passing demon who is not bothered by daylight. Setting up utilities for
the demons.
Yeah, for like vampires especially.
Willie gives them drinks and John gives them phone service. Yeah.
Yes.
Jenny Calendar. Oh, wait, nope. I have another thing about the fucking Angel Giles phone call because Angel picks up the phone and Giles says, "It's Giles." Pause. Rupert Giles. What did Angel say on the other end? Giles who? Like, what happened? Okay. Jenny Calendar.
I think just a silence. I think it's Giles. Nothing. Rupert Giles. Are you there? Jenny Calendar comes in and is like, how does she make that outfit looks like the one you wore yesterday, only wrinklier, sound like a come on?
It's because everything that Robia Lamort says just sounds like she would like to have sex with you. Like, I don't think she's ever said like anything that doesn't make you feel like, do you want to make out right now? Is that what you're saying? She's been in a lot of Prince videos, so I think it comes with the territory.
Oh, yeah.
She knows something's up. She's been surfing the net.
Here's what she has to say about it.
Well, I have been surfing the net looking for unexplained incidents. People are always sending stuff my way. They know the occult's my turf. Anyway, here is the latest. A cat last week gave birth to a litter of snakes. Family was swimming in Whisper Lake when the lake suddenly began to boil. And Mercy Hospital last night, a boy was born with his eyes facing inward. I'm not stupid. This is apocalypse stuff. I'd throw in last night's earthquake, and I'd say we've got a problem. I would say the end is pretty seriously nigh.
Kristin.
Yes.
It's time to play Pick Your Portent. T-shirt cannon. Would you rather?
Oh, God.
Have a cat who gives birth to a litter of snakes. Be swimming in a lake with your family when the lake begins to boil. Or honestly, it doesn't even have to be like anyone related to you, but just anyone
just witnessing
being
a baby
born with their eyes facing inward.
Well, I think to really make this a struggle, Jenny, you have to be the cat who gives birth to the snakes. because like, I'm sorry for the cat, but like, I would pick that one because it's like the least personally affecting, you know?
Right.
But if I had to be the cat giving birth,
be the cat you want to see in the world giving birth to a litter of snakes.
I would pick boiling in a lake. I'm gonna boil in the fucking lake.
Yeah, that seems like the least bad. I mean, because you could just get out.
Yeah, right.
It starts boiling.
Say we, people who have never been in a lake that started boiling, but
right.
You can just get out.
Well, let's just. Okay, so oh no, I was like, how hot could boiling water be? 212 degrees Fahrenheit.
Jenny, that's a. You should know that fact.
I'm so dumb. Well, yeah,
she's over here fucking Miyazakiing.
Yeah. The thing is that now that I have a child, you know, you get a bath thermometer, so you always know what their bath. So now I'm like, when I take a bath, I'm like, and let me just determine the perfect temperature for me too, so that it's always the right temp. Nothing worse than getting into a bath that's like a little too cold. And you're like,
what's your temp? What's your bath temp?
110 to 112 is my
sweet spot
preferred, but boiling water is 100 degrees hotter than that. I was like, how hot could it be? Too hot, apparently. Okay, so boiling actually sounds pretty bad.
I'm still picking it. I'm not I'm not dealing with any eyes that are turned inward, and I'm definitely not giving birth to snakes, no matter what species I am.
Yeah. And honestly, I feel like a cat giving birth to a litter of snakes would just be like, ugh.
Yeah, the cat would be like,
you know, and it would move on instantly.
Yeah. It would just start cleaning itself. Like, I was always meant to do this. I didn't even know about the snakes. Never seen them in my life.
Who put these snakes here?
Okay.
A monk. Okay, first of all, why does a monk have email? Is that, I mean, in 1997, in Cortona, why does a monk have email? It just feels like,
listen, not all monks are. What do you call a Luddite? Is that a person who uses...
Right. Yeah, okay. A very forward-thinking, technologically progressive monk in Cortona has been emailing Jenny Calendar. He was like, I heard that the occult is your turf. Let me tell you about the Anointed One.
Also, Jenny, Cortona is where the monks were dealing with Moloch. And I know this because we were like, is it Cortona or is it Corona? Like, which one is it? And we got an email from a listener about Cortona. So this is just all coming together.
Okay, so maybe this is like after the Moloch incident, she struck up a relationship. She went to geocities.com/
monk
Cortona monks.
Yeah. But for those who want the answer to the question we posed, which is Cortona a real place? A question completely unanswerable to us. No way we could ever find that out. So thankfully, one of our listeners wrote in.
Don't we Google enough on this show? Ooh, look at it. It's so pretty.
Katie, sorry. Oh my God, Jenny.
Sorry, if you look at the Accademia Etrusca in Cortona, Italy, you too will gasp.
Oh, well, wait, what is it? An Accademia what now?
The Accademia Etrusca. It looks like a big old library that has been around since Molochian times.
Well, I will tell you that our listener Katie wrote in, and Katie used to live in Cortona. So can
what are the fucking odds? Actually, did Katie say? Like, why?
Because they were a professor. They are a college instructor. 2023 and 2024, Katie taught in Cortona, Italy. And Katie's back in the U.S. now, but it's a very charming, scenic, and affordable Tuscan hill town. Katie says there are no castles in Cortona, so points deducted for accuracy in the Buffyverse. But there's a monastery, a short hike outside of town. The most supernatural thing about Cortona is that the mummified body of Santa Margherita, a.k.a. Saint Margaret of Cortona, is on display in a glass casket in a basilica named after her. Oh, she's venerated by locals and had an interesting life full of feminist-ish twists. She was a single mother, established a hospital, and
did she work 2 jobs?
Yeah, she was a
or
single
too
mom
hard.
who worked 2 jobs.
I can never remember the right lyric.
And she got involved in local politics. So thank you, Katie, for writing in and letting us know that, we couldn't have found out otherwise, but you lived there. So Cortona is a real place, a beautiful place.
You can confirm.
You can confirm.
We appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Giles is stressed out and he friggin' snaps at Jenny C.
Yeah, but she fucking loves it. We all love it when Giles gets mad.
Yeah, she's probably just relieved to see him like releasing a little bit of tension.
Mm-hmm.
The man is a rubber band ball.
Yeah, and given our discussion of where Jenny Calendar dangles it in The Last Watcher's Diary, who knows what's happening in this scene? Okay, Sunnydale High hallway.
Okay, Cordelia and Kevin. Listen, can I tell you, maybe for the first time, maybe for the second time, Kevin is played by Scott Gurney, an American executive producer, writer, director, actor, model, and entrepreneur who has created several television series, documentaries, and unscripted / reality TV programming, including Duck Dynasty.
Oh my God.
Haunted Collector.
Wow.
And American Guns.
Sounds like a natural talent.
Gurney also produced several Shark Week specials for Discovery Channel, including Killer Sharks, The Attacks of Black December, How Sharks Hunt, Shark City, Shark Attack Survival Guide, and Great White Appetite.
Wow, so you also have some feelings for Kevin. You and Cordelia both.
Kevin seems cool.
Wow. Wow, Willow and Cordelia, the relationship begins to blossom. Cordelia
Beautiful.
says, I really like your outfit. Willow, no, you don't.
She just needs a favor.
Yeah, this is what we're talking about. We love when Willow is not feeling like, oh no, it's Cordelia. She's talking about my outfit from Sears at the water fountain. This is the Willow strength that endears us so deeply to our Willow. And that makes the relationship between these two delightful.
I love that Willow knows how to set up a sound system.
Me too. And
She's ready to assist. The best.
Oh, God. So she sees Xander slamming a fucking bouncy ball on the chalkboard in a classroom. And Xander says, Buffy's still jonesing for Angel. And then says, talk about strong Willow. Xander's like, but we can go together. And Willow's like, you know what? Actually, no. Fuck off, actually.
Yeah, I think she's really feeling empowered after having that conversation with Cordelia.
Mm-hmm.
She's now ready to say, you think I want to go to the dance with you and watch you wish you were at the dance with her? Mm-mm.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Yeah. Xander's going to go listen to some fucking Patsy Cline, which props to Xander. It's a good choice. You got to give him credit. The man has good taste in country music. Why is everyone at school at night? Why are they all at school at nighttime?
Okay. I mean, there could have been like a night game, right? That would explain why Buffy, as she's closing her locker, is passed by some other kids. I am begging Sunnydale to please invest in lights for their locker room. It is shadowy as hell in here. Also, being reminded of the existence of locker rooms this episode made me think back on previous locker room experiences on this show. And Kristin, I'm disturbed to report, you may recall from Out of Mind, Out of Sight, when we saw Mitch in the locker room taking a shower, in the boys' locker room, there are modesty dividers between the shower heads. Because perhaps no homo, ? However, in the women's locker room, there are just a bunch of, you may recall from I, Robot You, Jane, when Buffy was nearly electrocuted to death. There are just shower heads jutting out from a bare tiled wall.
Well, women would never, they don't need boundaries or barriers. I mean, that nothing would ever pass between two women that would be unseemly. So,
but if it did, all the better for the male case. We wouldn't want anything standing between them.
Oh, yeah, true. Also true. Yep. I guess we should just play the patriarchy jingle. It is the season finale.
'Tis the season finale.
The patriarchy!
Buffy brings her steak into the bathroom. She looks down and, oh no, the water has turned to blood.
See, now, when there are portents, I would personally just stay away from faucets because the first thing that's going to happen to a faucet is that is going to run red with rich blood.
Or if you're in a Wes Craven film, you'll put your hand, because I will never not think about this when I put my hand on the thing that you turn, the like handle that turns the water on. The handle goes up and will grab your hand back.
Oh God. Later I have a note when Buffy and the Anointed One hold hands. I have a note where I'm just like, I'm such a parent because I saw this and was like, oh, I love holding hands with my son. And when you said the thing about the faucet knobs grabbing your hand, I was like, oh,
I love to hold hands with my faucet. I don't think you would.
I love to hold hands with my faucet.
Jenny just took a moment to let Frank into the studio, and I thought about how Frank knows how to woo, which is what we do, of course, at the end of every episode. And then that made me think, oh my God, imagine when we get to a time when our children can woo together, when Aldrich and Sal can woo together. So,
that's really exciting.
Yeah.
So far, Aldrich is at the doggy brah stage. So we haven't quite gotten to a woo yet, but we'll get there.
Sal is at the scream cry stage. That's what she's good
that's
at.
a good one too.
Yeah, she's really good at doing that. Okay, so in the library,
nightmare stuff. My boyfriend is talking to my dad in secret.
Yeah, gotta put a stop to this. Angel's there talking to Giles. We opened with the top half of this, which is the fact that Angel's saying, you have to be wrong. And Buffy hears Giles saying, Buffy has thwarted prophecies time and time again, but this is the codex. Nothing in here does not come to pass. Tomorrow night, Buffy will face the Master, and she will die. We normally don't do long sound clips, right? But this is critical stuff here. So we're going to actually play the rest of this exchange when Buffy interjects so that we can all experience it together.
So that's it, huh? I remember the drill. One Slayer dies, next one's called. Wonder who she is. Will you train her? Or will they send someone else?
Buffy,
Did say how he's gonna kill me? Do you think it'll hurt? Don't touch me! You even gonna tell me?
I was hoping that I wouldn't have to, that there was some way around it.
I've got a way around it. I quit.
It's not that simple.
I'm making it that simple. I quit. I resign. I'm fired. You can find someone else to stop the Master from taking over.
I'm not sure that anyone else can. All the signs indicate...
Signs? Read me the signs! Tell me my fortune! You're so useful sitting here with all of your books. You're really a lot of help.
I don't suppose I am.
I know this is hard.
What do you know about this? You're never gonna die.
You think I want anything to happen to you, huh? Do you think I could stand it? We just gotta figure out a way.
I already did. I quit, remember? Pay attention.
Buffy, if the Master rises...
I don't care! I don't care. Giles, I'm 16 years old. I don't want to die.
It's tough stuff.
Really?
It's tough stuff in Slayerville.
It really is. It's just so, we know this. We've talked about it all season, right? Buffy is a kid. She's a kid and she's got the weight of the world on her shoulders. We know this. But the thing about powerful writing and the thing about powerful directing and the thing about powerful performances from absolutely stellar actors is that you can tell this thing again, and you can say it in a way and you can deliver it in a way where even though you knew it and even though you know it, you are just gutted in its delivery. And that's what's happening in this scene. It's so fucking real and raw and sad. And Sarah Michelle Gellar, standing fucking ovation. This is a performer of a lifetime. She's unbelievable. She's fucking unbelievable.
I love this show.
I love this show too. It's a good thing. It would be a really shitty podcast if we didn't.
Yeah. You've probably heard us singing OneSkin's praises by now. Their OS1 peptide has been transforming our skin here at Buffering the Vampire Slayer for a while. I am thrilled to report they now have a new scalp serum, OS1 Hair. You may be wondering, why would a skincare company create a scalp treatment? Well, because of course, scalp is skin, and just like the rest of your body, it experiences cellular aging. But instead of wrinkles, it messes with your hair follicles and natural growth cycle, which leads to hair loss and thinning. OS1 Hair is the first scalp serum powered by OneSkin's OS1 peptide, which targets those aging cells. And it's scientifically proven to help your hair cells do what they're meant to do: grow fuller, denser, healthier hair. I've loved every OneSkin product I've ever used, and I'm so stoked that they are now focusing on hair. My hair is very important to me. I don't know if that's because I'm a Leo rising or what, but it's important to me that my hair is its absolute healthiest. And OneSkin's mission to optimize the skin's biology at the cellular level is going to impact that powerfully. Founded and led by an all-woman team of skin longevity scientists, OneSkin is redefining the aging process with their proprietary OS1 peptide. Get 15% off with code BUFFERING at oneskin.co. That's 15% off at oneskin.co with code BUFFERING. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and let them know we sent you. Invest in the health and longevity of your skin and scalp with OneSkin. Your future self will thank you. The days are getting longer. The weather is getting warmer. Spring is inarguably springing. Make this your best season yet with nutritious 2-minute meals from Factor. Eating well has never been this easy. Just heat up and enjoy, giving you more time to do what you want, like get outside instead of prepping and cooking indoors. Factor meals arrive fresh and ready to eat at your door. I love that Factor has 45 menu options every single week. Whoa. And you can choose from Protein Plus, Keto, Vegan, and more. They've also got delicious vitamin-packed juices and wellness shots. Yum. Get started at factormeals.com/buffering50off and use code buffering50off to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. That's code buffering50OFF at factormeals.com/buffering50OFF for 50% off plus free shipping.
There are many ways to entice a potential new customer with flashy branding and calculated marketing strategies. But at the end of the day, the success of a business comes down to the ability to close the sale. And for businesses like Thrive Cosmetics, Allbirds, or Skims, it's what goes on behind the scenes, making selling, and for shoppers, buying, simple that makes the difference. For them and for millions of businesses, that difference is made with Shopify. Businesses that want to grow, grow with Shopify. Because if your goal is growth, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling. And Shopify will make sure you're ready. On the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Nobody does selling better than Shopify. And with Shop Pay, they boost conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts going abandoned and way more sales going. It's no wonder Shopify is home of the #1 checkout on the planet. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout Allbirds uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/realm, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/realm to upgrade your selling today. That's shopify.com/realm.
So Willow is looking at a photo of her and Xander and calls him. She was strong. She was strong. She's weak a little bit too. That's fine. She's human. He takes the phone off the hook. Remember the days when you could just take the phone off the hook?
Sounds great to me, but I'm like, what if that was Buffy, dude?
Oh, he doesn't. He's mad, Jenny. He doesn't care about anything. He'll care about things later. He's mad.
Okay.
He's in his Patsy Cline feelings.
Okay.
Buffy's in her room also looking at photos because she knows she only has a little while to live. Joyce, first of all, chambray shirt, 10 out of 10. Great job, Joyce. Looking
good.
Super cool. I hope that as a new mom, I hope I can bring this level of cool into all of my mom outfits moving forward.
Buffy has an idea. Let's get out of town. Let's go away for the weekend to avoid my doom. We can talk about all the embarrassing things you love to bring up.
And Joyce is like, the gallery's open on the weekend, but also, I start writing in all caps because I'm crying because this is a spoiler podcast. And so like, we know the arc of Buffy and Joyce and that they're going to be like sitting on a couch for her birthday when she's so sad soon. And then, just all of it. You all know. And it's just a lot. Joyce has bought her this dress that she saw her eyeing at the store, even though they really can't afford it. She really wanted Buffy to have it. And, this outfit, this is, I think we could say, the most iconic Buffy outfit that...
Looks like a great outfit for slaying vampires in.
This white dress. Yeah. Well, yeah. This white dress with a leather jacket. But I always forget that it's Joyce who bought her this dress, and that is really meaningful and really sweet. And also just made me think about how in the movie Drop Dead Gorgeous, Kirsten Dunst's mom buys her the dress that Diane Sawyer once wore, and she's so happy too. Moms are always buying their kids dresses that they love. Christine Sutherland, just unbelievable in this moment as well. She's talking to Buffy about how she went to homecoming alone because she thinks Buffy is so upset because not no one, but the wrong person asked her to the dance. Of course, Buffy is upset because she's going to die, but, potato, potato.
Do we think Angel's ever been to a dance?
No, but also why he looks like he's going to the dance in this episode. I'm like, when Xander gets to his house later, I'm like, he's fully wearing a suit. He's got like a white button up and a fucking jacket on. He's like, he didn't get his moment until prom, but like he was planning to show up to dance to Wild Horses with Buffy in this episode as well.
I love that when they met, Hank Summers had a date and Joyce made short work of her.
Wow. Just like when you and I met, Jenny.
Okay.
It's a true story. Ask me at a book event. So. Uh-oh.
Men, they're so unreliable. You ask them to do something and they get exsanguinated instead.
Oh, this is awful. This is awful, awful, awful. This is, again, like taking moments that are like a bit light for the content and then being like, actually, though, here's what it is for real. Here's what it is for real. These kids live on a Hellmouth and they are constantly faced with death and loss and destruction and trauma and fill in the blank. We, have this little exchange between Cordelia and Willow, learning more that Cordelia is starting to really have feelings for Kevin. Willow is now in pigtails. Pigtails really being deployed to let us know that these are young folks. And they're watching cartoons in this room, the boys that they're looking for, but they're not.
But you know that it wasn't like the vampires snuck in and like quietly drank each one without any of the others noticing. They like killed them and then positioned them.
Yeah, it's like a massacre. It's truly a massacre in this room. And Willow's face when she sees this and the like juxtaposition of these like dancing little cartoon pigs with the bloody handprint on the television. It's really serious.
I want to talk about that
stuff. Yeah.
I want to talk about that because I think it is such an interesting and powerful choice for them to be watching Looney Tunes and to get this close up on the TV with a bloody handprint, because from afar I feel like the Ritas, they're too old to be watching cartoons. They're a little old to be watching cartoons. But when you get the close-up, it's kind of like they're a little young to be murdered.
Right. Right. And we don't know. I mean, you know, is it morning now? Like Saturday morning cartoons? It's possible that they were in there playing video games or doing something, and then they were slaughtered, and then the television kept playing and the cartoons came on. But that is real and is just it regardless of why the cartoons are on the television, that's what it brings to mind. And also there's something about it being like slaughtered like animals, you know, like that. I mean, think about like the insanity of the fact that we watch adorable little pigs dancing around, but then also I'm so sorry, but kill them and eat them. You know what I mean? Like that there's something there too, to the, I don't know, humanity of it all, and like how things can be really dark. And also really light. Look at these pigs dancing around, LOL. Okay, so we cut to, this is also a stunning, talk about juxtaposition. We go from the bloody handprint on the television with these dancing Looney Tunes to a slow pan up on Buffy's dress that she's now put on. So it's like trauma, gore, tragedy, loss, death, to this 16-year-old girl in this dress that her mom bought for her, ready to go to a dance / ready to go fight so that the world doesn't end. Just sorry, but this is a fucking great episode of television.
Yeah, and whiplash one more time. Joyce comes in. There's something on the news. Willow.
Why is Willow? How did
Lionel Richie, come to the art studio immediately. Something's going on.
Yeah, I don't really see a world in which Willow has talked to the newscaster, but whatever.
I know.
It's fine. And we had to get Buffy to know what was up. So we go then to Willow's room. And we're playing this sound clip.
Buffy does not even change. She just whips out of the house in that dress.
Yeah. She's ready. She's ready for whatever the night may bring, whether it be dance or battling the master or both. This sound clip is the sound clip, and we'll talk about this more after Prophecy Girl plays the song at the end of the episode. But this is the sound clip that Jenny and I looked at. This is the moment in the episode that we looked at when we wrote the lyrics for the song Prophecy Girl. So let's hear Willow trying to explain to Buffy why this is different, why this feels. We've had 11 episodes, people have died, kids have been stuffed into lockers, but this feels different.
I've seen so much. I thought I could take anything. But Buffy, this was different.
It'll be all right.
I'm trying to think how to say it, to explain it so you understand.
It doesn't matter as long as you're okay.
I'm not okay. I knew those guys. I go to that room every day. And when I walked in there, it wasn't our world anymore. They made it theirs. And they had fun. What are we gonna do?
Well, we have to. Promise me you'll stay in tonight, okay?
Buffy, I like your dress.
When I walked in there, it wasn't our world anymore. Right? I knew those guys. I go to that room every day. Willow is trying to put words to this experience of feeling out of control, right? And like when we talked about Prophecy Girl, we were December 2016. You know, as you heard in the audiobook clip, it was a handful of weeks after the election, a handful of weeks before the inauguration. It was a moment when our world did not feel like our world anymore. It felt like it was slowly moving to belong to someone else and not us to queer people, not us to women, not us to fill in the blank for so many groups in this country and the world. This feeling and this resolve also that Buffy has to do it anyway, to keep fighting anyway, was so poignant then. And, very, very sad to say, but also very powerful to say that is still with us, and more so right now, this feeling that our world is not ours anymore. And what do we do in those circumstances? And that's, how many times, Jenny, have we been asked the question in interviews, like, why Buffy? Why still Buffy? This is why.
Because this
is why. Yeah. Oh my God. And also because the Master has gotten a gobo. The Master has a gobo for his lighting, and he's also in a bubble. There's so much happening down below. There's a wobbly bubble. There's a gobo. I can't handle it. His only line? Soon.
Yeah, and he sends Colin to go fetch Buffy for him, right?
Yeah.
Back in the library, Jenny Calendar is like, previously on Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And she's received one last global from the monk.
Is global just an email, but it was sent globally, so it's called a global?
But wouldn't all
emails be global? Yeah.
No. Global. Okay, so the global just said Isaiah 11:6. The wolf shall live with the lamb, the leopard shall lie down with the kid, the calf, the lion, and the fatling together, and the little child to lead them. This is a confusing verse to cite because, the conclusion that they immediately draw is, oh, it's a child. The anointed one is a child. Why not just be like, the anointed one is a child? While you're sending a global, why not just say that? Because this verse and the verses that follow it actually are referring to the peaceableness of the Messiah's kingdom, the future kingdom of the Messiah. This is how peaceful the world could be if everyone falls in line with the Messiah.
Because the wolf is with the lamb. Nobody's eating
they're
anybody.
Just like, he's a wolf, she's a lamb, but they're lying down together.
Yeah.
So it's funny that they're using this particular, and real theologians of the pod, please feel free to write in if I'm understanding this incorrectly. hello@bufferingcast.com. But it does seem a little funny to me that that he sends out this verse that's all about peace between natural adversaries.
Yeah, it's so the Master and Buffy are just holding hands, cuddling.
Yeah. Oh, I love holding hands with my fruit punch vampire master.
So yeah, they think the anointed one is a kid. Giles tells Jenny Calendar he's not actually going to let Buffy face the Master. He's going to go do it. Buffy comes in. No, you're not. Oh, this exchange. It's almost funny, right? Buffy says, I made up my mind. And Giles is like, I made up my mind first. Do what you're told for once. That it's funny, but then you cut to Buffy's face, Sarah Michelle Gellar's face, and she sees how much he loves her. And she knew he was going to protest, so she knows she has to literally knock this man out to be able to do what she's supposed to do, because he will not let her go, because he's a really good dad.
I know. She says to Jenny Calendar when he wakes up, tell him, I don't know, think of something cool. Tell him I said it. And I don't know how I've felt in the past, but I felt a little sad about this go round, because it would be, great if she, in this, what might be her final message to Giles, if she said something of substance. However, I can also appreciate that this highlights that she's just a girl.
And also, this is such an overwhelming moment. And I thought about this from, a writer's perspective. There are moments when you can make a choice like this that I feel it's really powerful, right? Think about Joss sitting down and being like, what would she say, right? Because, we can't know if that's what happened, but I would imagine that he's sitting there trying to think about what she would say. And he can't think of anything that is good enough, anything that is powerful enough. And so in that moment, as a writer, it's okay, but yeah, she might not be able to think of something that's good enough. And she might know that there's nothing good enough to say. So I'm going to actually just just own that reality instead. And I think when writers in general choose those moments powerfully or impactfully, they just resonate so much. So this works for me. And also we know she doesn't need to say anything. If Buffy were to die and stay dead, Giles would know, you know?
Oh, I know.
Also,
I love holding hands with my unconscious watcher.
Really important, too, is that Jenny says, you'll fight the master and you'll die, right? And Buffy says, maybe. She picks up the most effective weapon known to man, the crossbow.
Favorite in tight, close quarters melee situations.
Yep, 3 chances. And she says, maybe, but maybe I'll take him with me. Flash forward, season 7, right? Like the Hellmouth will choke on me as this happens. This idea that like, yes, I might go down, but if going down gives us a chance, that's what I'm here for. That's my responsibility.
One thing is for certain, if she is gonna die, this is the fucking look to go out in. Iconic as hell. White dress, leather jacket, crossbow. Even though it's goofy, it looks cool.
It does. It looks really cool with this getup. And because I went as prophecy girl to prom 2024, I now own a crossbow. So it's very exciting for me. And it's a real it's not a real like adult crossbow, but like it could probably hurt
you
a
nice
little bit.
child's crossbow.
Yeah, but it could
perfect for
leave a bruise.
Ages
might leave a bruise.
2 to 12.
Okay. Buffy goes outside and the Anointed One is out there. He's ready to play a prank. He's ready to be, I'm just a little kid. Help me.
And she's like, you don't have to pretend with me.
and then he holds her hand and Jenny cries.
And then I cry. I also wrote, and sometimes it does feel a little bit like my son is leading me into hell.
So down they go to the lair. And so now we're doing actually, no. We're going to start to do big back and forths, but there's a moment at Angel's house that is not part of the back and forth. So let's start in the library where Giles is icing his face.
He's icing his bonk. Does this man keep a stash of ice packs at work?
Probably. I mean, if you have a stash of weapons, don't you undeniably have to have a stash of ice packs?
True.
Xander is saying he will not stay calm. Buffy is in danger. His Patsy Cline feelings are done. Now he just needs to make sure Buffy's okay.
Mm-hmm.
And Willow, this is one of my favorite moments. Jenny Calendar's like, blah, 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 blah. And Willow just looks at Giles and is like, how come she's in the club? Who the fuck invited her?
Giles can have friends too, Willow. And actually, it's probably healthy if there's another adult in the mix.
Yeah. Xander, who's looked up Geraldo Angel in the Yellow Pages, knows that he just needs to get to Angel's house to find out where Buffy has gone. We see Buffy entering the lair, and I write, man, wearing this dress down into the sewers, this is really foreshadowing how many really great outfits Buffy is going to bring down into the sewers. Thinking of the Angora sweater from the episode Prom. There's just so much that she wears down there that I'm like, oh, that's getting thrown away. That's
couldn't be me. I'd have my sewer clothes, honestly, if I was going down there with this frequency that she has ahead of her.
But you know what? As a new parent, I will say that it's really easy to fall into the trap of like, well, I mean, I'm not really leaving the house anyway, so I might as well just wear these sweatpants every day, all day, forever. And then you realize, like, I've realized recently, like, I've just been walking around with like a bra and pajama pants for like hours and days. So I do have to say that I think Buffy's strategy of dress like you won't wind up in the sewers is probably healthier.
Dress for the job you want, not the job you have.
Oh, God.
Oh, okay.
Oh, my God. Jenny, let's go to Angel's house.
Knock, knock, knock. Look who's here. It begins.
Oh, the bromance that we all love. Angel and Xander forever.
I have a very serious question.
Oh, please ask
It's a question we've asked lightly earlier in the season, but now it's like, bro, what? Okay. Xander's like, take me to the master. Buffy went to fight him. Angel's like, Angel's wasting time saying things like, you're way out of your league. Why isn't Angel sprinting there himself right now? His crush is in danger.
Because drama. This man has a like full Buddha statue in a glass case with its own light on it, okay? That's in his home, Jennifer. He loves the drama first, Buffy second. Buffy needs to know that if she chooses to be with Angel, she will always be second to the drama. Why is Angel wearing a suit? I ask in my notes. I've already posited
where's
that
he
here.
going?
Where was he going before Xander showed up? Exactly. Probably to stand directly under the stairwell at the Bronze with a beam of light on him while the dance happens. But no one sees him. He's just dramatically watching from afar. Fucking texting. I guess you couldn't text. You couldn't really text in 97, could you? But if you could, texting Edward Cullen, what kind of beam of light are you standing in today, Edward? What kind of charcoal sketches have you drawn today? Your way out of your league kid is very funny to me because I feel like Angel specifically feels like more powerful than Xander. Like he doesn't have this kind of cocky confidence amongst everyone, but with Xander, he's like, can one-up him. The master will kill you before you can even breathe, I thought was a powerful choice of words since it is literally Xander's breath that will save Buffy.
Wow.
In the end. And Xander says, I don't like you, but I need you to prove Buffy right. And then, fellas, is it gay if you say, you're in love with her? And then I reply, aren't you? You want to talk about no homo, Jenny? The scene with the two of them where they fucking are like, Xander's like, you're looking at my neck. And Angel's like, I'm not looking at your neck, man.
Boys. Hey, I want to say the line verbatim that you just alluded to because I think it's really great.
Okay.
Buffy thinks you're a real person. And right now I need you to prove her right.
Okay. Yeah.
That is good. Okay.
Yeah. No, I see your point. Point taken.
See my point. You're in love with her, aren't you? Yeah. I mean, what happens when a boy is trying to kiss a girl and then on the other side of her, a boy is trying to kiss the girl from the other side and then the girl just ducks out in the middle. Oops.
Whoopsies. We will see almost that exact scene happen in season 4 when Riley and Angel are both leaning towards Buffy and she ducks and they go, oops.
Okay, only Jenny Calendar has the wherewithal to ask, where exactly will the Hellmouth open?
Yeah.
Thank you, Jenny. Who still is probably Miss Calendar at this point.
Yes. Yeah, she is. She's actually written in the transcript as Miss Calendar.
Yeah.
Miss Calendar if you're nasty.
And also if you're not, because it's the only way she's currently referred to.
Okay, so the Anointed One leaves Buffy at the candlelit entrance to the Master's lair.
Oh my God. The Master's immolation watch ran, so Angel's immolation watch could crawl. Mm-hmm. I've never seen so many candles in my damn life.
Oh my God. Also, like, is one vampire lighting them all, or is it like many vampires' tasks?
He has a staff.
Yeah. Light the candles, replace the candle. You know, when the candles burn down, you got to replace it. There's a closet somewhere in the Master's lair that just has boxes and boxes of candles ready to go.
Is it a closet or is it more of a sub-cavern?
I would like it to just be a closet. Like
I guess it's a sunken church, so there might actually be...
Yeah, a tabernacle. Maybe an old tabernacle.
Mm-hmm. Oh, maybe there's just a ton of candles down there. This is some real Yellow Jackets. Oh. Everything we need is in the cabin shit. Oops, there's a million candles.
Oh, God. All right.
When the Master steps into visibility and is uplit and looking creepy as hell, I'm like, yeah, man, you're creepy as hell.
Yeah. Sometimes the drama is funny and sometimes the drama is real.
So true.
Oh, good. So Buffy says, looks like you've got some water damage. And he comes right back at her, which I love, with, oh, good, the feeble banter portion of the fight.
Mm-hmm. She interrupts his sassing her. He's like, can we just get like he wants to like get to it. He's halfway through his sentence and she fires a bolt off. He catches it.
But Jenny, it's not a problem because she has 2 more arrows.
Bolts. They're called bolts.
Bolts.
When it's a crossbow, they're called bolts.
Okay, whatever.
I'm trying to save us emails. You know what I mean?
That's true. We get
have we heard from a medieval weapons expert yet? It's
No.
possible that we haven't yet published the episode where I called for a medieval weapons expert.
I don't know that we have. Neck exchange. You were looking at my neck. I told you, Xander says, I told you to eat before we left. Take a piece of that quiche with you, Angel. Pack a quiche to go. The master tells Buffy that she's not the hunter, she is the lamb. So
Nobody
it doesn't
wants to hear
matter, though,
this.
because you're cuddling. That's what the Bible verse says.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
There's actually no hunter in Isaiah 11:6.
Yeah, there's just a wolf and a lamb, and they love each other.
And a little child.
Yeah. Everyone at the library realizes that it's probably the bronze because the last time this happened, it was the bronze.
And also, so many times in the future, it will be the bronze.
Also, stop casually referring to the spring fling as the prom. It's the spring fling.
Is it spring fling or is it prom? Make up your mind.
Jenny, Calendar, and Willow go together to the bronze. They're not going to get there, but they leave. And the master appears behind Buffy and gets his little manicured hand around her throat. Outside Sunnydale, it's the Walking Dead. Vampires, for some reason in this episode, have decided to walk very slowly and spread out in, like, not like they're pals, but just like they've risen from the dead.
Yeah, more like a Night of the Living Dead kind of a vibe.
Mm-hmm. So the master uses a power to sort of like immobilize Buffy. This is, speaking of, because Kendra is about to be activated. This is the episode where we get Kendra activate. Drusilla has this power too. This is not universal. Jenny is using her pointer finger and her middle finger, and I'm in a trance because she's waving them back and forth.
It is kind of hypnotic.
It is.
I got myself a little bit.
But I just want to know, like, I want to know, as a vampire, what do you need to have this? Like, what is it, like Boy Scouts where you have to like get a few badges and then you get this power?
I'd love to know. I'll also remind you, okay, so the master is like so old, but then later when Faith shows up, Kakistos is so old that he has cloven feet.
That's what I'm saying. And the master, when the master dies, he has a skeleton. So what are the... Can someone please think of...
We need a check-in.
Yeah, and I want it to be... I'm putting a request in that it be formatted like a Boy Scout, Girl Scout kind of vibe, right? You need these badges before you get this thing. We have hypnotic power. We have... You keep your skeleton after dusting. We have cloven feet. I don't know that you want to compete for that one. Or like... Yeah, I don't know. You want to pass the challenges for that one?
We're not here to yuck anybody's yum.
That's true. Maybe you really love cloven feet and you've wanted them for your whole life. I'm so sorry. Anyway.
Ever heard of Mr. Tumnus? He's actually quite popular.
Anyway, write to us at hello@bufferingcast.com. Let us know what you think the badges are that are needed to access these superpowers, elevated powers for being a vampire. So the master says, this is the tricky bit about prophecies. I think LaToya calls us the asshole rules of prophecies, right? That you know some, but you don't know all. The master says prophecies are tricky creatures. They don't tell you everything. You're actually the one who sets me free. If you never came down here, I could have never gotten out. Damn it.
You hate to see it, to hear it. You don't ever want to know that you have accidentally made possible the prophecy you were trying to undermine.
Mm-hmm.
Oops.
He bites her, Jenny.
He takes a little slurp. Also, when he says, if you hadn't come, I couldn't go, it sounds just like Gnarl.
Well, and then he bites her and he looks up and he goes, God, the power.
He has the tiniest slurp. He has a no thanks, I'm just having a salad kind of slurp.
But we know from like Spike and stuff that Slayer blood is the most delicious of all blood.
I know. I'm like, why wouldn't you drink it all?
Right?
Though?
Drink it all before you go. But then we would have never had Buffy back. So
I know.
He drops her body. And I think like this, I was joking a second ago, but I do think it's powerful that like the master doesn't even really give a shit about killing her. Like it's not like he revels in it. He just takes a sip, drops her. She kind of like falls unconscious to her knees and face plants in a puddle of water.
He's got bigger fish to fry.
By the way, I like your dress is the last thing that he says to her. Then he breaks his bubble, which is funny, and walks out.
So how convenient that that his lair has a water feature he could drop her into.
All over. Remember the blood puddle? There's puddles all over this place.
Sure, but that's a blood feature, not a water feature.
True. Xander and Angel run because they realize...
They finally pick up the pace.
I know.
What are we doing, boys?
They find Buffy.
And Angel is like, I have no breath. You have to give her CPR. Like 25%. I love David and I love Angel.
Yeah.
25% of David's acting at this point in the game is panting, and he's doing it here and trying to tell us that he has no breath. Sweetie, I love you.
Well, but to our previous discussions, he has no oxygen, and that shouldn't
right.
But you shouldn't need oxygen. Well, doctors, write in. I don't think you're exhaling carbon dioxide.
Help us. We are just two women who don't know anything, and we want to understand.
As
CPR.
A human, you inhale air and you exhale something like H2O, right? That's how it works. I'm kidding. But like it's just it's not the contents of what you're exhaling that it makes CPR effective. It's just that you're pushing something into the lungs. You're jump starting the lungs. As long as you're not exhaling something that's like poisonous to the lungs, I think it doesn't matter. But let us know. hello@bufferandcast.com. Why can't a vampire give CPR? Because he clearly can push air out of his mouth, even if it's not made of the same substance that ours is.
I've watched every episode of The Pit so far, and they have not explained the kind of mechanics of
CPR.
Yeah, so I'm ready.
Remember, this is a television show from the 90s, so we're cutting to commercial, and this commercial cut is Angel looks up at Xander and says, she's dead. And now your ass has to watch fucking commercials
about like herbal essences and whatnot.
We never make it another commercial. It's always herbal essences on this podcast for like 9 fucking years. It's the only commercial that's ever existed in 1997.
I'm sorry, that was the most memorable ad campaign of the era.
Yeah, it was.
Prove me wrong.
So Xander does CPR. And we talked about this, I think, we read about this in the audiobook clip, right? This is powerful because you have Angel there, who's a very, very powerful vampire, but he can't do it. It's Xander, who is just a guy, but he has breath. And so he actually is necessary, right? It's not always just the demons and the slayers and those who have supernatural or elevated powers. Sometimes it's your average guy who needs to be there to make this thing happen. And that's part of the beauty of this show as well.
Yeah.
Also, part of the beauty of this show is that Cordelia still doesn't know how to drive a fucking car, but she does know how to go on a mission.
Skirk! I would argue that she actually is quite effective here because she picks up her friends and gets them to the library safely.
Yeah. I mean, maybe it's not bad driving. Maybe it's simply defensive driving.
I would say it's determined driving. You know, she's prioritized. What's more important, these doors or the lives of me and my friends? Yeah. And I would say, I agree, lives of you and your friends.
Yeah. It's bold, though, to say my car will make it through those doors, you know?
I don't know if it's a bet that I would be willing to make. But she does, and it works out, and everything's fine.
Yeah. Also, turns out that downstairs, which is what I'm calling the lair now, downstairs. Oh my God. Also, Jenny's sidebar. So for those of you who listened to our original run, there's a, very famous line from season 7, "From beneath you it devours," which Jenny shortened to FBYID. It became a whole thing. We would shout it all the time. My wife recently learned a baby hack because getting a onesie or a shirt over a tiny baby's head is a fucking nightmare, and they hate it and they get stuck in it and you're like, I'm killing my baby. Oh God. So she learned an internet hack where you can put the neck of the onesie up their feet and bring it up from the bottom, right? And so she's doing it, and I just say to no one, FBYID, and Avanti was like, I'm sorry, what? And I was like, oh, sorry. So there's this whole thing in season 7 where "From beneath you it devours," and Jenny shortened it to FBYID. I'm so sorry to my current wife.
Me too.
Anyway, downstairs, Buffy is revived.
You know that the CPR works because there's a quick zoom out. Her eyes pop open with such a ferocity, and there's a little wind chime sound.
I saw a bright light at the end of the tunnel, but then I heard a wind chime, and I came back to you.
It turned around.
So, also tiny tidbit, because obviously we talked about Cordelia screeching through the doors. Something that she says in the car was that she was sitting where her and Kevin used to park, which is really fucking sad. It's like a throwaway line. But like Cordelia lost this kid that she really, really liked.
Aww.
And she was sitting after school in the spot where they used to park together. That's
Cordelia.
Sad. I know.
She has no loss.
Giles gets a book. So they get in the library and the vampires are after them. Giles gets a bookcase to barricade the door. Willow takes the sign, the library sign, and is using it to literally whack-a-mole because there's just like a hole in the door and the vampires are coming through and she's like, bap, bap, bap with the vampires. Love it. Oh no, Jenny. The tentacle has entered the chat.
No disrespect to tentacle havers such as octopi. Mm-hmm. Who seem smart and chill and really interesting.
Yeah.
But it is just, you're never watching something and then you see one tentacle emerge from somewhere and think good thoughts or feel good feelings. It's always bad news when there's a tentacle.
Well, because Jenny, there's never just one tentacle.
I know, it's always the beginning of the end.
It's always just the start. It's the tiniest tentacle first, and then God help us, what's going to come after it. On the roof, the master, turns out he's just as dramatic outside his bubble as inside his bubble. My world!
My beautiful world!
Oh, God.
Okay, downstairs. Xander and Angel help Buffy up. And she's like, I feel strong. I feel different. Let's go. And I feel like last time we did this, 9 years ago, I feel like we were like, what?
Yeah.
Why does she feel strong and different? Is it just like now that she's been brought back to life, she's like, oh, I have nothing to fear. I even died and I'm still going to go fight this fight.
Or maybe it's just like, I didn't die, so therefore I feel strong. And she'll probably...
What if you get a power up if you're a Slayer who dies and then the next Slayer is called? What if like somehow your power sort of like doubles up on itself?
Because now
somehow.
There's 2 Slayers. You have the power of...
Maybe.
What does He-Man have the power of?
Grayskull.
You have the power of Grayskull when a second Slayer is called. How it works. Okay, so Willow and Jenny go up to use the bookcases to barricade there because there's a lot of ways into the library. Giles is going to go to his office.
Way too many ways, honestly. They did not think this through.
Oh, yeah, I agree. A tentacle is getting close to Willow's sneaker. No.
Cordelia screams, somebody help. Cue the fucking theme song. Pick slide. Buffy walking with authority. Her boy minions flanking her.
The only time this will happen. The only time that this theme song will be deployed, right? This doesn't ever happen.
Oh, yeah.
How do you know where the master is going? I know. She is full of power. Oh, look, a bad guy, she says, as seeing a vampire at the entrance. She doesn't even kill him. She just punches him in the face and keeps walking.
Just like, who cares?
She has Angel put on his game face, which of course is his vamp face. And they go up to the roof.
I love Cordelia trying the strategy of bite them back.
See how you like it. Cue the Cordelia jingle, folks.
Cordelia, I love you, Cordelia. You're perfect, Cordelia.
The tentacle gets Willow. Oh,
Okay.
no.
Okay. This like Jim Henson puppet factory looking ass monster that I love. The Apocalypse Beast. How do the Apocalypse Beast and the Master know each other?
I know, but he calls it his like
Softball?
child. Like it's like he refers to it like that he's the dad. He's the dad of this three-headed beast.
I'm saying softball. I'm saying office softball league.
Wow, what a custom jersey this demon would need.
A lot of tentacle holes in that jersey.
And head holes.
Uh-huh.
It's just all holes.
It's all holes. Holes all the way down.
Okay, so the Master now is watching what's happening below through the skylight. Great job, everyone. We've set this up so he can be upstairs and they can be middle stairs. And if only there was a skylight in the Master's lair, somebody could be downstairs too. We could see everything. So, also he's clapping, Jenny, but he's clapping so tiny. He's just clapping so gently above the skylight. And this is where he says, yes, come forth, my child. Come into my world. I don't think it's yours just yet. I may be dead, but I'm still pretty. What can I say? I flunked the written. We're getting all kinds of banger lines in the finale.
Yes.
Giles axes the fucking three-headed beast. Willow, incredible ongoing screaming from Allison Hannigan. Great job. Giles falls through a table. Angel stakes a vampire. LaToya writes, the dainty way that Angel stakes a vampire, I think about it a lot. Boop. Boop. And you dusted. We get fruit punch mouth. Buffy says, you have fruit punch mouth. And she sees this is the same kind of shape that the piece of glass in the movie Ghost has. It's just this pointy spike that's ready to kill you. Below.
Oh, it's a stalagmite.
Yeah. And she says, you're that amped about hell? Go there. Down he falls, and he cannot even dust regular. He has to dramatically dust.
Yes.
His dust is black.
He dusts atom by atom.
Yeah, swirling out of his eye sockets. He keeps his skeleton.
And the Apocalypse Beast is like, I just remembered I have somewhere to be. And slithers back from whence it came.
And now we get everybody in the library and the theme again, but in piano mode.
Oh.
I recognize it because Jenny once gave lyrics to the theme, which is slay vampires, slay vampires. And so when I heard this piano music, I was like, oh, it's the theme. And I know because I heard...
Generous of you to call that me giving it lyrics.
The Hellmouth is closed. This house is clean.
Buffy died and everything. This is new information for everyone except Buffy, Angel, and Xander. And yet everyone's like, LOL. Should have known that wouldn't stop you. LOL.
No questions asked.
Yeah. We saved the world. I say we party.
Another fucking classic line stacked in this episode. Jenny says, what about him? Pointing to the bones of the Master. He's not going anywhere. Pause. Loser. They're leaving. It's all very cute. We hear Buffy say, I'm really, really hungry, which lets us know that she's something else.
None of my business.
None of our business.
And as they're leaving, like the good vibes are returning. The squad is rejoicing. As they're leaving, Angel says, by the way, I really like your dress. And Buffy's like, yeah, it's a big hit with everyone.
They pan up on the skeleton, which we'll never see again. That skeleton, it's harmless. Don't worry about it. And we've finished the season.
Wow, what a time.
What a time. We did it a second time. And if we do it a third time, you know what? I think we've said this before. If we do it a third time, our children will be doing it, actually.
Yes. This will be Frank's podcast.
Yeah. Generational. We just hand it from generation to generation. In every generation, two podcasts are born.
Yeah.
Oh, well, Jenny, I mean, it's almost time to start season 2. And hey, we're going to kick off season 2 in Boston on April 29th. We're, instead of doing the first episode of season 2, we're actually going to do a best of, talking about our favorite moments from season 2. So bufferingcast.com/slayers is where you'll find all of our events, also on our calendar. But you should join us if you're around in Boston, because it's going to be fun.
Yes. And until then, I'm Jenny Owen Youngs. When I'm not watching Buffy and making this podcast, I'm busy becoming a published author. You can learn more about me at jennyowenyoungs.com. Give me a shout at Jenny Owen Youngs and read my new book that I wrote with my good friend Kristin Russo, Slayers, Every One of Us, out today via St. Martin's Press.
Wow. What a time to be alive. Also, for those of you who are like, what about what was Dawn doing? Don't panic. We have a Watcher's Diary coming at you very soon. And that Watcher's Diary will include what Dawn was doing in both out of sight, out of mind, out of sight, and also Prophecy Girl, as well as other bonus items, discussions, emails, what have you. But until that time, I'm Kristin Russo, and when I'm not talking about Buffy with Jenny Owen Youngs, I'm often working with and for LGBTQ plus communities. Go to my website, KristinOlean.com. You can check out all the things I do, but most notably, I'm a thrice published author as of today.
No need to brag about it.
I'm pretty excited to have written a book with you, Jenny. Pretty excited that it's in the world today. I love all my children equally, but this book is really, really fucking special to my heart. And I hope that you all enjoy it in all of its forms. Who are we as a team?
We.
Ex-wives, yes, but what else?
Yes, but also Buffering the Vampire Slayer is on socials at BufferingCast. And you can drop us an email at hello@bufferingcast.com. Might I also just invite you on the side here to visit our TikTok, where the amazing Addie has been creating a music video for every song from the Buffering the Vampire Slayer catalog, one at a time. Spoilerful. They're so awesome, and people are really enjoying them, and they make me so happy. So you can find those on TikTok, also on Instagram. That's where we're at.
Yeah, they really are fun. They're my favorite part about Once More with Spoilers.
Whoa.
Yeah. So take that, Addie. Take that. Do with it what you will. And hey, if you'd like to support us, we would love that. We're an independent podcast, and nearly everything we do is because of our listeners and their support. You can join us on Patreon, patreon.com/bufferingcast. Everything that you need to know about us really is at bufferingcast.com. And if you need to know more about our personal lives, that's in the book. So you can go to one of those two places. But thank you to those of you who have supported us for so many years. You are the reason that we're here and the reason that we have a book, you know? It's true.
So true. This episode was produced by Kristin Russo, Jenny Owen Youngs, and Latoya Ferguson, with support from our consultant Mackenzie McDade. It was edited by Kristin Russo. And till next time.
Woo!
Well, I heard the words you said, but I can't make them make sense. I face nightmares every night, but now I wanna run instead from what will come, what will come. If our world belongs to them, what will come, what will come. Just keep fighting, just keep fighting. That's what I'm supposed to do. If I just keep fighting, just keep fighting, maybe I'll believe it too. When you sat there on the bed, looking scared, looking ahead. Couldn't shake the things you'd seen. And it woke me when you said, what will come, what will come? If our world belongs to them, what will come, what will come? Just keep fighting, just keep fighting. That's what I'm supposed to do. If I just keep fighting, just keep fighting, I think that I'll believe it too. Fire rising in my bones, I can free us from his hold, from the fear that keeps us bound. I am standing now, I know what will come, what will come. If our world belongs to them, what will come, what will come? Just keep fighting, just keep fighting. That's what I'm supposed to do. If I just keep fighting, just keep fighting, know that I'll believe it too.
Oof. This song. We've talked about it. We talked about it in the audiobook clip. We've talked about it many times, but to have... Jenny, you get the catharsis of writing music much more than I do because I don't really write music. But to sit in a room with you in 2016 and think about this moment that Buffy was experiencing and how it overlapped what we were experiencing, and to get to put words to that and then to hear you put music to that was a catharsis that was, like, I will never forget it. It was definitely the most powerful moment I had to this point in making music with you.
You know, 12 episode season. You know, the vast majority of the songs are very, you know, plot driven, very Monster of the Weeky. The two major outliers are Angel, the sort of romantic song of the season, and then Prophecy Girl, which is the what are we fighting for? Who are we?
Yeah.
Are we alone or are we stronger together? You know, that kind of song. Not the kind of song that I usually write. I would say probably write a million Angels.
Yeah.
No Monster of the Week songs before we started this podcast. And really not very many songs like this at all. Also, you know, in these days, it would fill me with dread when you would turn to me at song time and say, I think this one should be on the piano. I would be like, fuck.
Yeah.
Because I am not a pianist at all. I have a basic understanding of what's going on. I have a little bit of an understanding of how piano can work as, you know, an accompanying instrument, but I'm sorely lacking in piano skills, and I really learned a lot more about it over the course of the podcast. But this and Never Kill a Boy is more of a jank song.
Yeah.
So that was a little bit of an easier access point to me. But like, how do you make a ballad feel good? I still don't know. I did the best that I could at the time.
Yeah. And we've gotten to do this song, like you've gotten to perform this song live with folks who are pianists. Hannah Winkler, right, played the keys.
Oh yeah,
at Union Hall, and has Ben Thornwell ever been on the keys for this song?
I can't remember for sure.
Mayhaps
if we did it at
John Mark perhaps has played keys on this song, because John Mark played at the finale, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
he sure did.
Yeah,
that sounds like something that could have happened.
Lot of different folks tickling the ivories for the live performances of this.
Thank
song.
God.
Yeah, but
anyone but me.
But you did something. You used what you had, and like I think that's important too. You knew you weren't going to be like doing this large piano performance, but the sparseness of the piano chords is meaningful and powerful and beautiful. Like I think, the fact that it is not a complicated thing to play necessarily is used in a way that's very emotional and strong. So that's also a talent.
I think like we'll probably talk about this as we go. A lot of the things that happen in songs for this podcast were things that I really was learning on the fly or just like desperately holding on to by my fingernails, just like trying to make something happen with my limited experience and knowledge at that point. Very much a learning experience making all of these songs.
But how cool is that?
It is cool.
It's so cool. And
on the job training, I love it.
And, I think this goes without saying, but this chorus, Just Keep Fighting, really became sort of the mantra of the buffering community here. Obviously, it was rooted in a 2016 space, but it is carried forward. And, if I think for a lot of the people who have been with us since the beginning, if you ask them what's something that can sum up the vibes in Buffering the Vampire Slayer on the serious side of things, it is this: just keep fighting. And that means so many different things. And it's meant different things to us as hosts of the podcast over the years. What does it mean to continue to fight? And to end on a maybe a serious note in the current landscape, I would just like to remind everyone that fight does look different for different folks and does look different at different times in our lives. And so, try to remember that, because you can't always fight one way. And you can't always be fighting in the way that you think of fighting, right? Like sometimes fighting is taking care of yourself. Sometimes fighting is saying, you know what? As a trans person or as a person of color or as fill in the blank, what I'm going to do for myself today to make myself feel good, that is also fighting. And so take that with you, put it in your pocket. And Jenny, I can't wait to see where we are when we talk about Prophecy Girl for a third time.
Oh, please.
Well, there'll be little field
I come
mice
here to relax.
running out of our beards.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Our beards are going to be lush.
All right. Well, see you in season 2, kids.
See you in season 2. And also Watcher's Diary really soon.
Yeah. And also probably a million other things that we do between now and then.
Yeah.
Buy our book.
I'm Amy Nicholson, the film critic for the LA Times.
And I'm Paul Scheer, an actor, writer, and director. You might know me from The League, Veep, or my non-eligible for Academy Award role in Twisters.
We love movies, and we come at them from different perspectives.
Yeah, like Amy thinks that, Joe Pesci was miscast in Goodfellas, and I don't.
He's too old. Let's not forget that Paul thinks that Dune 2 is overrated.
It is.
Anyway, despite this, we come together to host Unspooled, a podcast where we talk about good movies, critical hits,
fan favorites, must-sees, and in case you missed them.
We're talking Parasite to Home Alone.
From Grease to The Dark Knight.
We've done deep dives on popcorn flicks. We've talked about why Independence Day deserves a second look.
And we've talked about horror movies, some that you've never even heard of, like Ganja and Hess.
So if you love movies like we do, come along on our cinematic adventure.
Listen to Unspooled wherever you get your podcasts.
And don't forget to hit the follow button.
On our podcast, Good Bad Billionaire, we explain how the world's billionaires made all their money.
Pop stars and tech titans, founders and filmmakers, inventors and investors, we cover them all. And for the first time, we're talking about a video game designer.
Yep, we're talking about Marcus Persson, the Swedish coding king who programmed the world's most successful game, Minecraft, all by himself.
He made $1 billion, but is he good, bad, or just another billionaire? Find out on Good Bad Billionaire. Listen on the BBC app or wherever you get your podcasts.